Hi there, here's the second in a series of video tutorials where we're covering analytics, Google Search Console, SERPs, Search Engine Results Pages, and Adwords. GSC stands for Google Search Console, and you'll see we have two interfaces as I discussed in the first video. This is the old interface and this is the new one. Depending on what you need, you can use either interface, but there are some reports that are not yet available in the new version, so that's why I have both versions displayed. One of the reports I'm going to go into now. And as I discussed in the first video, analytics tells us what happened with people once they came to the website. Google Search Console, on the other hand, tells us where we appear in search. The data between the two is not always accurate. So for example, here in Google Search Console over the last 28 days, which is the default, we see that there were 1,736 clicks. However, if I go into analytics, it tells us there were more sessions and less users. And I've taken this up with Google themselves. There's no definitive answer on why one doesn't correlate with the other. However, I use both tools for completely separate reasons. Google Search Console will tell me very quickly how many people visited the websites, how many URLs were submitted and indexed by Google. The main report I pulled from Google Search Console is the search traffic. And if we go to Search Analytics here, we can see, if we just leave the report as default, that there were 611 clicks. If I click the option for impressions and click-through rate and position, we get a more complete overview. If I scroll down, you can see here it tells us which search term was presented in search, which position it displayed at, and how many impressions that search term gained, and what the click-through rate was. And a nice easy way of filtering this is to click on position, so I can see very quickly what position people are ranking in. So I would expect, if somebody searched for Premier Properties in Los Cristianos, that this client would present first, because that's the company name, Premier Properties in Tenerife. Real Estate Agent or Real Estate Tenerife South, they're also ranking at first position. And if I go to the client's SERPs report, the Search Engine Results Pages report, you can see we're tracking quite a number of terms. And here we can see that Tenerife South Real Estate Agent there in google.co.uk, they are ranking in second position, and that has actually risen from 6th. And if I click on the report here, it shows us exactly where they have ranked over the last month. So the two should correlate. Whenever I see a high result in Google Search Console, usually that result is echoed in the SERPs report. However, SERPs is independent. We track it using our own tool, so I lend more weight to that report than the Google report. Most people would think I should think the other way around, but it depends on which search engine is being used, the time of day, etc., the geographic location that the search is being executed from. For example, in the SERPs report, we can track in google.co.uk, .es, .com. We can track on mobile. As you can see here, this is an organic result. We can track mobile results as well. So back onto Google Search Console for a moment. This report for me is actually invaluable because it will show me where the client's website is ranking for search terms we did not even think of. For example, there's a search term here, Yaco Tenerife. I don't even know what Yaco Tenerife is, but that's worthy of investigation. Is Yaco a company? Is it a complex? And if so, why are they ranking second? And if it's something that we can capitalize on, then I would write content specifically for that. But what's of more concern to a client really, it isn't the search terms that they rank highly for, it's the ones that they rank low for that they want to increase. As we covered in the last video tutorial for the UK client that creates video walls, they've jumped I think 10 or 12 positions in the last couple of weeks, purely because we optimized the content, the last month, purely because we optimized the content for a particular landing page and we started an AdWords campaign. And if we create more content around that product, then the ranking will increase. But organic ranking takes time. It can take anywhere between a month and a year. It all depends on how much content you write and how well that content is written and optimized. So a very quick fix is AdWords. You just put money into AdWords, target certain search terms, and you go to the top of Google. It's very simple. Of course, you have to have an AdWords campaign running. One of the more interesting search terms here is estate agents Los Cristianos. You can see that there is ranking, I think 5.8. And if I go to the SERPs report, we don't need that. We can see we're not actually tracking this in SERPs, and the ranking according to this for property for sale in Los Cristianos 20th, but they were ranking 22nd a month ago, so it has jumped slightly. But Google say that they're ranking 5.8. That's interesting. That tells me that the ranking is jumping, and it's jumping between the position 20th and 5th. And there can be a variance like that when Google is indexing your site along with other websites and it's not quite sure where to rank you. Again, if you want to target that search term, my suggestion is write better content. Put the content on the website, share the content to social media. As we discussed in analytics, we can track how people are visiting the website. I like to see a lot of people coming from social. Social is very, very good at driving traffic to a website. In my own case, for What Know website, we have, I think, around 40 to 50% of the traffic to that website comes purely from social. And of course, some of those convert to sales. I don't think it's a stretch to say that the more traffic you drive to a website, the more business you make. And we can see here on this report as well, there are other search terms that the client is ranking for that we haven't actually optimized for. Parking La Arena, Tenerife, for example, they rank position 6th. If the client has property for sale there, then my suggestion would be create a page dedicated to that area. That then will rank. But of course, you have to put content on that page. You can't just put a property or properties. That will help ranking, but putting more content on specific to a search term increases the ranking because it gives Google more to look at, more pages to index. In the case of the client that does video walls, I would suggest more content around video walls. And when you do an organic campaign and a paid campaign simultaneously, the organic ranking increases. And if the organic ranking exceeds your expectations, let's say we get it to position 5 or 3 or even 1 in Google, then we can turn off the paid ranking because of course all the traffic will be coming through organically. So that's one of the reports that are available. If you have a look at the top here, it tells us how many clicks from the physical search results, how many impressions, what the average click-through rate was, and the average position. Google Index tells us how many pages have been indexed on the website. According to this, 7,593, which is nice. And we can tell over time how many have been indexed as well, right back to August 2017. So clearly the client has been adding more content, more properties, more pages. By doing that, Google has indexed more content. I hope that's been of use, and as with all the tutorials, if you need something a little bit more in depth and focused, just get in touch. and we'll schedule a call, maybe an hour, 2 hours, where we can just focus purely on this one thing and hopefully give you a better insight into how you are ranking in Google. Thank you.